The story of graffiti. The first drawings on walls appeared in caves 2,000 of years ago. Later, the ancient Romans and Greeks write their names and protest poems on buildings. Modern graffiti seems to have appeared in Philadelphia in the early and the 16th and by the late 16th and had reached New York. The news are from really talk of in the 1917th when people began write their names or tags on buildings uncover the city. In the mid-17th, it was sometimes hard to see out of subway cars a window because the trains were completely covered in spray paintings, as masterpieces. In the early days, the Tigers were part of street gangs who were concerned with marketing their charity. They worked in groups called crews and called what they did writing. The term graffiti was the first used by the New York Times and the novelist Norman Mailer. Art galleries in New York began buying graffiti in the early 17th, but the same time that it began to be regarded as art from John Lindsay, the 10th mayor of New York, declared the first war on graffiti. By the 1980s, it became much harder to ride on subways, trains without being caught, and instantly many of the more established graffiti artists began using roofs of buildings of currencies. The debate over whether graffiti is art of vandalism is still going on. Peter Ballone, a New York consigliere, thinks that graffiti done with permission can be art, but if it is on some else's property, it becomes a crime. I have a message for the graffiti vandalism art here. He said recent, your freedom of expression and where my property begins. On the other hand, Felix, a member of the Berlin-based group Reclaim Your City, says that artists are reclaiming cities for the public from adversaries, and that graffiti represents freedom and makes city more vibrant. For decades, graffiti has been a springboard to international fame. For a few Jean-Michel Basquiat began spreading on the street in the 1970s before become a respected artist in the 1980s. The Frenchman Big Rat and the writing artist Banskin have achieved international fame by producing complex works with stencil, often making political or humorous points. Works by Banksy have been sold over 100. Graffiti is now sometimes big business. The 5 words you did not know. They are apparent, concert, freedom, regarded in masterpieces.